This is the Lockpicker 1969, and welcome to my channel, and welcome to the next episode of Locksport 3D Printing Series. For today's episode, I wanted to go over lockpick stands and organizers. I looked at many options before choosing different stands to accommodate my picks from multiple manufacturers. I utilized picks from Peterson, Southord, Law-Lock Tools, Jimmy Long's, Multi-Pick, Sparrows, and some others, but my main focus was organizing my Peterson's, Law-Lock Tools, Southord, and Jimmy Long's picks. Consequently, I also needed options for setting up smaller pick stations where I might want to pick up a lock and go pick that away from my main lock lab. I will be sharing the options that I chose and that I decided to go with and why I went with each option. By no means am I saying these options are the only ones to go with. There are a lot of great creations out there that I just had no need to explore at this time, but I will present pictures of some of the other options that are out there and when possible speak to some of them. In the description for this video, I will link each option shown in this video to make them easier to find. When I present each, I will have on the screen the exact name I found them under on Thingiverse, so that you can reference it in the description and find the link that you need. So first and foremost, the stand that I printed quite a few copies of because it worked out so well was essentially this stand here. Now, what I like about this stand is it accommodated my Jimmy Long's picks, it accommodated my Law-Lock Tools picks, it also can accommodate Peterson, so there's a lot of different options here. If I have Southord picks without the foam handles, it'll accommodate those as well. It'll also accommodate multi-pick. So there's a variety of different ways you can utilize these. It'll handle the Sparrows picks as well, by the way. I do like the fact that it does have lots of space here to store tensioners, and you can store up to 20 different picks on this pick stand. So I have printed a number of them. So for example, this is my Jimmy Long's. I have my Law-Lock Tools in this one, and I also have a couple of these stands that I use on my actual Challenge Lock workbench. So nice option. I really recommend this stand. It is pretty universal in a lot of ways. So we'll put that aside for the moment. I do want to say that this stand took about a little bit under 20 hours to print, and yeah, it's exceptionally versatile. So next on my list is the Peterson pick stand. Now, mind you, it's titled on Thingiverse as the Peterson pick stand, but what I want to point out is the way I chose to do this was essentially to print in different filament colors to match the handle colors on the Peterson picks. Now, obviously, you don't have to do that. You can actually use this same pick stand setup and do it all the same color and just put all your different picks in it. But there's 5 pieces total that you essentially need to print the entire stand. 3 of these pick holders, essentially, and they all fit together very nicely in the stand. So they all can be removed and taken with you wherever you want to go. There's a tension wrench holder here that also comes out, and then there's the actual base that this sits on. So it's a pretty versatile stand with a lot of possibilities. Let's see if I can get a good angle on this for you. There. Yeah, there we go. Plenty of room for tension wrenches and so on and so forth. So a nice option to consider. It did take a really long time to print this. Each section, the base, these sections in the base took between 15 and 20 hours to print each one. This front piece probably took more like 10 hours to print. But overall, I think the entire printing process took me around 3 days to complete in total. But I think it came out really, really well. I'm very happy with this whole arrangement for my Peterson picks. So I'll put that back. Next is I have a lot of Southord picks, and a lot of them have the foam handles on them. What I found was with the two previous pick stands I showed you, they don't really accommodate these foam handles very well. They're a little too thick. So what I did find was this woodworking tool rack, which has these holes instead, and they're a pretty decent size. The ones on the ends here are a little bit larger, so they handle these Southord Max picks pretty well. It does come with this curved area in the back, and I haven't quite figured out what I would want to, if at all, use this for, but you can put things in there and they won't obviously roll away. It does accommodate all of my Southord picks. I actually have 2 of these printed to accommodate all of my picks, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 by 24 picks in each stand. So plus the 4 end little holes there to put different other items in, like these combs. Anyways, very useful for Southord or any other picks that you have which may have like thicker handles. So let's go here with, so I mentioned at the beginning about wanting to have pick stations, and typically what I mean by that is I have a few of my more used or often used picks and some tension wrenches, and I just want a little tiny like pick station that I can take. I can have those handful of picks that I might want to use when I'm working on a lock, and I can put this anywhere in my house that I might want to take a lock and just go at it. So let's see if I can get a good view here. There's the slots. Quite a few of them. Plenty of room for putting your tension wrenches in here, as well as there's holes here in the back. See if I can get a good shot of that. Light. Alright, well, unfortunately I can't get the light to cooperate with me here, but there are smaller holes in the back that handle these Bach tension wrenches quite nicely. But this little stand maybe took about somewhere between 6 to 8 hours to print, and it's come in quite handy. I have one of these little type of stations in different parts of the house that I typically spend time at, so I can just grab a pick and go whenever I feel like it. So anyways, those are the ones that I recommend. I found that I basically retired all of my old pick stands. They took up way too much room. This really helps you consolidate and make better use of your space. My video workbench alone, now I can actually have more picks on it and take up less room than what I had going on previously, and that's been a blessing. So let's get into talking about some of the other pick options I found out there. I'll give you my thoughts on them, and we'll go from there. This first one is self-entitled Lock Pick Rack. The link is there on Thingiverse. I didn't go for this one. I was trying to get away from the test tube rack look, but it does offer a number of different slots and things you can use for picks and for tension wrenches. So if you're interested, print it out and check it out, or at least pull it up in your slicer program and take a look. Okay, so this next one is entitled Another Lockpick Rack, and the link is provided on Thingiverse. Again, this was more of a test tube rack looking one. Wasn't what I was going for, but lots of different little slots and so forth to put things in. So give it a check out. Okay, this one's entitled Lockpick Tool Stand XL96, and the link is provided to Thingiverse. It's an interesting design. Basically, it looks like you could fit almost any size pick in there on one of the tiers anyways, but it wasn't really the look I was going for, but I could definitely see where you could use this for a number of different styles of picks and handles, as well as tension wrenches, and maybe some other tools. You probably could use this for like dimple picks as well, so that's a thought. Anyways, check that one out. Okay, this is the lock pick tool stand, and the links provided for Thingiverse. This was a lot like the previous one we looked at, but I do like, it seems like it has fewer of the parts, but the tubes look like they might be a little bit bigger. I haven't taken a very close look at this because it's really not kind of the look I want, but I think you could very easily fit any number of pick handle sizes in that, as well as dimple picks, so perhaps worth checking out. All right, this is a desktop lock pick organizer. Looks like it has a really decent sized bin in the front and on the second tier, along with some holes to store the things in. From what I can tell, it looks like there's slots on the top 3 tiers for picks, so worth checking out. I question how big of an actual print job that is, because it does look rather large, which would take a lot of filament to print out in a lot of time. But give it a check out. Okay, so this one's self-entitled Lockpick Stand. There's the link to Thingiverse. This was an interesting one. Not really my style, but I could see where somebody who perhaps shares their desk with some like craft type stuff they do as well, and maybe wants to throw one of these like in a corner of a desk somewhere and just have some either picking tools or maybe some other ones available. It would be kind of a neat little stand. Check it out. All right, this one's titled Lockpick Organizer. There's the link for Thingiverse. I did consider printing this, but I do like the other smaller stand I printed for kind of the pick stations in the house, because it seemed like it held my picks a little bit nicer and gave me more options for actually holding tension wrenches. So, but if this type of thing appeals to you, it might work for you. Okay, this one's entitled Lock Sport Pick Holder, and there's the link for Thingiverse. I didn't really care for this one. I did not print one, but what bothered me was it didn't seem like it offered a lot in terms of storage, and it was very loose with the one large slot that goes across the entire length of it. And it seemed like a lot of material to print just to get what little you're getting out of this. So check it out for yourself. Didn't really appeal to me. Okay, so this one actually intend to print at some point. I do like the look. I do like the versatility. The fact that you can change out these sections to add different types of dividers and really kind of customize it the way you want. I think Panda Frog, I believe he's the maker of this, did a great job of designing this. So I know that I will definitely be printing one out and checking it out. It does take quite a while to print, very much like the Peterson pick stand does, but I definitely think it's one of the ones that's definitely worth printing, in my opinion. Well, that about wraps up this episode. I want to thank people for listening. Hopefully you found something interesting in this video, maybe give you some ideas of things you'd like to try and print and try for yourself, or if you've been on the fence about buying or owning a 3D printer, hopefully this has helped you show you what you can do with it. If you are currently a subscriber, thank you. If you are not yet a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications and all, and hit like on the video. And thank you for listening.